Hello everybody, and welcome to Mercury 80, and we're here in Moonmoth. It's glorious today. We've got lots of long shadows and sunshine, and it's a beautiful part of the forest. I am trying to keep exploring different areas of the forest because it's vast. There's a lot to see, so I'm going to head in that direction. Come on, let's have a wander over there. Absolutely silent in here today. Totally silent, isn't it? Hardly a bird to tweet. That's a busy thing, isn't it? Very busy. Okay, this is completely off subject, but not. This is connected. As you will be aware, the United Kingdom has just lost its monarch, and we have a new monarch. So the transition is very smooth, it's very quick. So there is a period of mourning, etc. And there is an awful lot of ceremony, pomp, and that ceremony is, some of it is between 500 and 1,000 years old of tradition. When you see the trumpeters in their full regalia making proclamation, that has got years and years of history. So my connection here is that the forest people are also people with status. I feel that every family who is in connection with human beings is, if you want a better phrase for it, is highborn. And I have explained before about status. I do believe that the families we are allowed to and chosen to converse with are highborn. They are of status within their groups. It's not something that they announce or say when they introduce their name, by the way, my name is Prince blah-de-blah. But I believe they do have status within their groups. So they have your ordinary worker, if you like, your ordinary Bigfoot, who may not communicate with you at all. They may just grunt with you. And that may be because they're not allowed to. They have no authority or permission to do so. Now the others, those that do connect, like I say, I believe they are highborn, and I believe they have the authority to do just that, to connect with you. So Abak, for example, when he introduced his name was Abak. He is the leader of their clan. Now I'm going to try and explain it as best as I can. I'll try and put some graphics on the screen for you. First of all, we have Abak Senior, who we didn't really get to know because he transitioned very early on. He was the head of the clan. His mate, who had transitioned many years earlier, was called Dasub. And between them they had Edgar, Dasiagea, Kaif, Dasub, Wefada and Fabricada. Right? Now, I think that Abak Senior, when they had their children, so this is now the children would be of Abak's age. So if you remember that Athenian is an auntie to the Abak we speak to, the eldest born, the first-born grandchild to the leader of the clan, acquires the name Abak. I think that's how it works. So this is when Abak, who we speak to, when he was brought into the picture. And his mother, as you know, was Ahochida, and his father was Edgar. Now I believe that Abak Senior, who transitioned 2 years ago, he was the eldest of the family members. I believe he was a crown prince in their world, not kings, but like a crown prince within their world. He had title, very much had title, status and position. So if you have a clan member who is leader of the clan, doesn't always have to be male, but if you do, I think the chances are that if you are in communication with them, that they have status. The chances are that they will be within their circles. Chances are that they will be royal within their circles. They will have status. So we are doubly honoured to be able to communicate with them. And I think you'll find, you please feel free to ask others that have this communication, or if you have communication with your Bigfoot family, ask them. Because they're humble, they are very humble, and they don't offer these titles up and tell you, by the way, my name is Crown Prince, whatever. They do not give this information up, but if you ask it, they will confirm it. And I was just really wanting to explain that, given that we, and you have seen on your TVs, very likely, all the status, ceremonial pomp and ceremony that has gone on with the passing of our Queen. You will have seen a whole lot of historical stuff. They're not going to have trumpets, fanfares and all of this stuff within the Janu families, but they almost certainly will have massive ceremony. I think ceremony within indigenous populations is very, very important. So that was really what I wanted to try and explain today. The family we speak to are back. He has status. He was the firstborn son. He would be the firstborn grandson of a back senior. He now is 60. He and Fabba have a fabulous family. Fabulous. And his eldest son is Theo. And I believe that within his line, Theo has produced the firstborn son. So Theo's generation missed out on the name of a back, but Theo's son carries it, and I believe that he will be the heir to that position. Does that make sense? Does that make sense to you? So the families will go away and have these conversations. They will all intermingle. And like I say, arrangements will be made. Important arrangements will be made. Connections will be made. In the same way as, say, the royal families of Europe. I think it's really only America, the northern part of America, that does not have in its history, natural history, any royalty, any indigenous royalty. But the Native Americans would certainly disagree because they have their chiefs. But I was meaning amongst the white settled population. And I know that the British were poking their nose around there, but they were not your royalty. You were under subjugation. So, elsewhere around the world, in Asia, most of Asia, most of Europe, all historically have princes, kings, queens. So this all connects in one way or another, and it's just a way of trying to explain how the hierarchy works within these families. Like I say, if you are an ordinary Bigfoot, shall we say, a worker Bigfoot, you don't have any status at all, and you're subservient. But I do believe that the ones that are allowed to connect with us and speak with us have status, and have a great deal of status. They're very modest about it, but they have a great deal of status. Now I know I'm in contact with some of you who do have residences, shall we say, on your land. Maybe you'd like to ask them if this is so. Very interested to see what you have to say. Don't disclose your area or your town, but I'll be very interested in the comments to see what you find out. The area is feudal, and all the clans at one time or other have been in battle with their neighbour clans. And if you look at my video of the bloodied swords, the particular clan that I'm now going to talk about is the primary savage, absolutely savage in the day. They were the primary mover within this story that I'm going to tell you now. So might be worth having a look at that video of bloodied swords. It explains something that occurred to me, and this is another incident that happened. Earlier in the week, it was Monday evening, I was asked to attend an event, and it's in a property that has castle in its grounds, a fortified building, and there are lots of them in this area: Kelso, Peebles, Pennycook, that's a bit further north, bigger Melrose. There are lots of these castles. On my way, it was dark when I was there, and on my way, right across the road in front of me, a man, and you can see the colour green behind me, over my shoulder. He was wearing a tartan, and he had a tam o' shanter, and if I saw him from seeing the right side of his profile, the right side of his face, so he had a tam o' shanter right down over the side of his face, so I only saw his profile, didn't see his full-on face. And he had a cloak in the same plaid, the same tartan, ruddy-faced. He was ruddy-faced, walking straight across the road in front of me. I couldn't see anything below waist, bottom, say lower waist, no legs. Just walked across, and he was as clear as a bell, and then literally disappeared right in front of me. So I looked up that particular castle to see what the clan was, who the clan was. There are quite a few clans around here. We're lowland. Anything below Glasgow and Edinburgh, or really anything below Fort William, we're lowlanders. But I mean, I am English, but I happen to live up here, research up here. So there were 3 clans, and lo and behold, there's only one clan that could be. One, the others had blue, were like a really dark blue. Another one was more of a grey and a yellow in it. I thought that was fantastically interesting. It's not the first time I've seen that, but I just thought I would let you know. And when I couldn't put a time period, because that kind of clothing is timeless, if you like, but right across the road in front of me, it was really weird. And he was clearly came out of the fields to my left, and he was going to the castle. Now I had to go right round the back to get into the castle, and he was just going through what would have been the natural entrance to the castle. In days when they would have had a horse and cart, and you could get a 3-foot horse and cart through the gates. Well, now you wouldn't get a vehicle through the gates, because we're a lot wider. But I thought it was quite interesting. Thought you'd like to know that. So what I'm really trying to explain here is, again, it's this connection with bloodied land where there has been feudal battles, or just battles of any kind, where blood has been shed on. So I think that it's not just about the people. I think all sorts of beings can walk through, not necessarily portals, but they can walk from their dimension into this. And I think certain areas are very conducive for that to happen. So my friend in the green tam o' shanter and his green cloak, he very much showed me that he was part of the clan that I experienced. The story really that I was told about the land Durin's Tale of Bloodied Swords. I believe there is a connection here, that they try to rebalance it where there's been a huge loss of life, where there has been dastardly things going on, or just an imbalance created by us yet again. I believe that the people settle there to try and create balance. That's it for today. Thank you for watching. I hope you've all enjoyed it. It's been a glorious day, and there's a lot going on in the world at the moment, so it's nice to escape into a bit of the world of weird. I hope you've enjoyed this, and we'll see you next week. Thank you and goodbye.